to keep it.
Hello and welcome to the CinemATL podcast for November 2017. The CinemATL podcast is a monthly podcast which examines the world of entertainment through the lens of local Atlanta filmmakers. I am one of your hosts, Michael D. Friedman.
I'm your other host, Martin Kelly.
And we have a special guest today.
Hi, I'm Ted Huckabee.
And you might know Ted as Bruce on The Walking Dead, amongst many other
many roles.
Oh, millions.
Millions of other roles.
Can't keep up with it.
So Ted's here to talk about acting and other things, and join us for the podcast. Like, we like to bring in our guests and have them fully participate as guest hosts, not just interviewees. So chime in whenever you want, Ted.
Awesome.
And,
First of all, you guys sound very professional. You sound like DJs.
You're buttering us up. You've already got the gig. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, you're already here.
Wow, awesome. I'll just sit back.
So we want to remind you all to, tweet us if you like the podcast, if you hate the podcast, whatever you want to talk to us about. We want to hear your input. You can tweet us at CinemATL on Twitter, or my personal Twitter is Badger33.
And my Twitter and IG is Marte_real1.
And mine's Ted Huckabee, I think. I'm not much of a Twitterer, but I think that's it. Ted Huckabee, TEDHUCKABEE.
Cool. And then we want you to just share this podcast, retweet us, send it around. And one important thing that we always like to mention is that if you are working on something currently, or you have something in the can, let us know about it. We'd like to give you some publicity. And in fact, one person reached out to us after our last podcast.
Cool.
His name was Alex Taylor.
Uh-huh.
He's a 15-year-old filmmaker, so we got another young filmmaker.
Just like last month. That's
and
great.
he's working on a feature film.
Wow.
It's called The Vigilantes. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go to Kickstarter. They got a Kickstarter campaign. It's nearing the conclusion of it. I believe there's about 10 days left.
Alex is his name?
Yes, Alex Taylor is his name.
Is there no reason I didn't call for that, Alex?
I think actually everyone's a teenager in the film.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I can play a teenager.
It's teenage.
I'm an actor.
You can pull
Come
that
on,
off.
man. Give me a chance, Alex.
And so, so check that out. I mean, they're looking for $7,000 to help with their budget. So it's not that big of a goal. So if you got some extra cash,
check them out. For sure.
Well, I do have it laying around, Alex, but
you didn't give him a
get
call.
the call. So.
But yes, thanks, Alex, for reaching out, and hopefully more of you will reach out to us, because we're always wanting to highlight local filmmakers. When we say local, it's like anywhere. So if you're in Connecticut and you watch the podcast and listen to the podcast,
as long as it's Southern Connecticut,
we'll shout you out.
All right. Well, this month's podcast, much like every other month, we split it into 5 segments. And the first is industry news.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about some stuff that's going on within the film scene.
And then we do our top 3. Patented top 3.
Patented.
Wow.
It is officially patented with the U.S. Patent Office.
That's right.
That's pretty
I don't know how we managed to get that.
Well, and this month's top 3 is top 3 Ben Affleck movies.
Wow.
Riveting.
Wow. I'm pretty sure you just lost your patent.
That ties in with our big movie review, which is Justice League. You might have heard of that movie.
It came out this week.
And yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll do our technique topic, which we usually tie into the movie or our guest. And this time we are going to talk a little bit about acting in Atlanta with Ted.
Great.
And it'll be a TED talk.
A TED talk.
Oh,
there we
wow.
go.
TED talk.
And then we end the podcast with the movie game, as some of you know, some of you don't know, and so we'll explain the rules when we get to that segment. But Ted's our guest. We haven't had a guest in a while, so maybe that
maybe
will
I'll
help.
stand a chance, a little buffer. I might actually be able to get a victory. Anyway, that's it for this intro.
So let's get into industry news.
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Awesome.
So let's talk about industry news. We usually talk about some stuff that's going to come out that was filmed in Atlanta, and then we talk about stuff that's shooting in Atlanta, and then sometimes we do general industry news topics. So let's jump right in.
Potpourri.
Yes, exactly.
Potpourri. Yeah, so for filming, or actually coming out soon, is a film called Jumanji.
Never
Which
heard
is,
of it.
which is a reboot of the classic
it?
Robin Williams.
Classic. How long ago does it dictate being a classic?
It's considered a classic, no?
Well, I mean, it's been a while because I mean, it's antique lifespan is like 25 years.
So it's an antique.
Well,
It wasn't 25 years ago.
It wasn't quite 25 years
It was
ago.
20 years ago.
It was roughly 20 though. So
I gotta be
one-
honest. I saw the trailer tonight, and I was upset because Jumanji. I'm sick of Hollywood remaking everything and not coming with new original ideas. But they did a twist on it in the trailer, at least, and it looks okay.
Yeah, it looks like it could be pretty fun.
It could be fun,
I
yeah.
was down on it too when I first heard
I
about
was.
it, but the trailer does make it look fairly cool. You know, part of that was filmed in Atlanta.
a good portion.
I imagine
of it,
the jungle scenes were probably filmed in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that
Downtown.
Hawaii or Atlanta, one of the two. But a good portion of it was filmed
Right,
in Atlanta.
right.
Another The Rock movie coming out soon is Rampage.
Terrible, man.
You saw that trailer too?
Saw the trailer right afterwards. Number one, they put him in the same wardrobe. Like he didn't even have to change shirts, man. He had a brown shirt on, same brown shirt. I'm like, is that all they put him in?
He probably was filming it nearly the same time,
Seriously,
actually.
man. And then he's George is the name of the gorilla, man. And all you think of the whole time is George of the
George of
Jungle.
the Jungle,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I'm thinking, I didn't know the name of it because I tried not to pay attention. But then I'm thinking, okay, it's King Kong because the gorilla's growing. I'm not ruining anything for you because it's in the trailer. And then I'm thinking it's going to turn into King Kong. And then the title comes up at the end, Rampage. All I can think about is that video game.
Well,
It is based on the video game.
Oh my God! Now it's even worse. Now who wants to see it?
But they weren't even
Seriously.
faithful to the video game.
No,
That's the thing. Is
not
like,
at all.
in the video game, it's people that turn into the monsters. Because when you kill the monsters, remember they shrink
Yeah,
down into the
yeah.
little person and they run away. This one, they're just
Yeah, I mean,
Monsters, rampaging.
it's yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it does look a little disappointing.
It hurt me, man, because I think I like Dwayne Johnson. I think he's a mega superstar. Of course, you can't say anything bad about him.
No,
But it's almost like, man, just
can't say anything
turn
bad about
down one movie here and there because you're gonna hate that one, man. I don't
You
care
can't
about the
say anything-
paycheck.
you
It's
can't
the
say
same
bad
team.
about him, but
It's
you can
the
say
same-
bad things about his movies.
it's the same team behind San Andreas, so he figured you're
well, that was a
basically.
quality movie.
Well, I'm saying that he figured,
And it's the
let's
same
do it.
thing because he's flying a helicopter.
Yeah, he does that. In
He's
his
going
movie.
in and fighting animals and.
But I recently almost teared up on watching Dwayne Johnson with some kids that he visited. So Dwayne, keep going.
Dwayne watches this podcast.
Yes, he does. He
Oh,
does.
in that case, man, hey, good movie, dude. Keep up with the brown shirt. Looks good, dog. No problem.
And then finally, another film. Well, it's a TV show. It's out. It's been out since the start of the fall. Is Kevin Probably Saves the World. We've mentioned other TV shows that have been filming in Atlanta here, and this one just kind of mixing the shuffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's on ABC now. So
I need to check it out because I did see the trailer for that before and it looked kind of cool.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it, man. Now, with that theme, is it Kevin Hart? Is that who it is?
Not
Because
that.
he's in everything
exactly.
too, man. I'm just
No, this
curious.
is television.
Him and-
he hasn't,
Okay, good.
he
He doesn't
hasn't
do
crossed
TV
back to
anymore.
TV since his show
Except for
on
HBO
BT.
specials.
Well, that's true.
For a stand-up.
Right.
Okay, it's not him. Okay, good.
So that's the stuff that's coming out. We'll move into some of the stuff that's being shot right now
And filmed, yeah.
or starting up. There's a film called A Boy Erased, and it stars Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe. So some pretty big names there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's directed by Joel Edgerton, and it's about a preacher's son who's forced to go through gay conversion therapy.
So Joel Edgerton also had directed a film that did very well called The Gift with him and Jason Bateman were in it, and so I guess he's sort of keeping his directing career going.
It's Cred.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
directing Cred.
Wow.
I mean, this sounds a little, like a downer subject matter. So
It could be the feel-good hit of the summer.
It might be.
You don't know. I mean, it's
All I
just,
can
it's
think
just-
of was a video I saw the other day. It's a classic one. And
sure, it's a classic.
It's awesome. Where the guy goes, "I'm not gay no more. I'm not gay." Y'all know this one's a great video. If not, check it out, man. It's awesome because he went through the transition. Man. Apparently, it worked. I don't know.
Okay. This executive produced by Mike Pence, right?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to do that stuff.
We're not going to get political. So let's just move on. The next film that's being shot here is, of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp. We've mentioned this before,
Yes.
but it's kicked into production on yet another Marvel movie.
Yeah, definitely.
This year, so.
Now, is the Wasp a man too?
No, it's the...
You obviously did not see the first
Did you see the
Audition for the first one, didn't get it.
Oh, that's why
I didn't watch
you
it.
boycotted.
That's
Okay.
correct.
I believe the Wasp is actually what's her name? Evangeline Lilly's
Lilly.
character.
Oh,
She
okay.
takes on the Wasp because it was Hank Pym's wife's former character, right?
Oh, okay.
And then season 2 of Atlanta.
Should we set? I think we mentioned Atlanta a little too much, honestly. But
It's
it is filming.
It's a good show.
It's a great
Why not
show.
mention
But I think we mention it all the time.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
But it is
You know,
filming
it's,
season 2, which is great because I can't wait.
I just found out that is Danny Glover, Donald Glover.
Donald
What's his name?
Glover, yeah.
Not Danny. He was in Lethal Weapon. But
I'm
his
getting too old for
son,
this shit.
his son Danny, is it Donald? Which one
They're
is
not
it?
related to each other.
Whatever, man. Semantics. Donald is the younger one, right?
Yes.
The son. All right.
He's not the
yes.
son. He's not
Yeah,
related to
well, I bet you didn't know who he is either. He's the new rapper dude. What's his name?
Childish Gambino.
Ah, y'all knew that? Yes. Dude, that's amazing. That blew me away, man. It's a good song.
Right. You learn a lot on
Yeah,
this podcast.
yeah.
Obviously, you don't listen to it very often.
No, but my daughter, she's 13, and it comes on. I'm like, I like that. I'm like, and then some other dude was like, yeah, that's Donald Glover. I'm like, oh, cool, Danny's son.
Yes.
Cool.
Then finally,
I loved him. Glover.
The Resident is a Fox television show that will be premiering mid-season, and that's shooting here as well.
What do you know anything about? What?
I did. I've actually seen the pilot.
Oh, really? Cool.
Pilot's pretty good, except for the only thing I couldn't get my head around is that they use the High Museum as the hospital that this place is supposedly set. So the whole time I'm like, why are they practicing?
Is it a mental
medicine?
hospital?
No, it's a.
Oh, so that's the title of the show. The Resident,
The Resident
is about
a resident.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
a new resident at the hospital.
Years ago, a movie called Manhunter. They used the High Museum as a
did,
mental.
Oh, they
hospital.
did. It was a mental
It was
hospital.
a Red Dragon.
Yes.
That was the 80s.
version. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
way
80s
back.
version of the Red Dragon.
It's a good show.
Yeah, so that's what's going on right now, filming wise. Martin, you had some other news to share with us.
I thought I should sort of give, and maybe I'll try to do this all the time on this. Is just sort of give a producer shout out to people who are doing stuff. Like for instance, Joseph Cross is going to make his directorial debut. Joseph Cross is an actor. You've probably seen him in several films. Two Georgia-based producers are producing it. One, James Ponsoldt, who people may be familiar with, director of Spectacular Now and the recent movie The Circle. But he's one of the producers. He's from Athens. And also Tara Ansley, who's a local film producer. And her latest film is actually in theaters, not in Atlanta, but in limited release nationwide, called Tragedy Girls. So check that out.
So maybe take a road trip.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
Unfortunately, I think it was in Atlanta, but it's sort of traveling now.
Yeah.
And you
I've
may
heard
have
good
missed
things
it.
about it, actually. I didn't know
Well,
it was a...
Yeah, Tragedy Girls stars Josh Hutcherson and Craig Robinson, along with a couple of other actresses. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but it's like a Heathers.
Hutcherson and Robinson are the girls in it?
No. They're not the girls. But it's similar. It's got a similar vibe just from the trailer to like Heathers, because it's about sort of social media culture and kind of a dark comedy in that regard. So I wanted to talk about that local producer and what they're doing, and then also Autumn Bailey Ford, who just wrapped a show in Alabama with John Travolta called Trading Paint, which is like a NASCAR type movie. And then she's also just premiered her documentary called Maynard, which is about Maynard Jackson, one of the former mayors of Atlanta. So that just premiered at NYC Docs. So wanted to shout them out just because they're local and they're doing work. So
And
Cool.
you're a local producer, too.
I am, but I think I'll wait to talk about it.
And you're like,
We wrapped another film recently, actually yesterday.
That's recent.
It's very recent. So
breaking news. You heard it here first.
and it's called Reckoning, and it was directed by Ruckus and Lane Skye, and so we're real excited about that film. Shot in the mountains of Hiawassee, Georgia. So,
Sweet.
Banjos.
Yes, actually.
There are banjos.
There are banjos.
Wow.
But I'm not going to say much more about it. We'll wait and we'll talk about it later.
When you say banjos in North Georgia mountains, you don't have to say much more.
There we go.
Can't wait to buy it.
Well, we don't have much more to say about the industry news except for if you're interested in working in any of these productions that we mentioned, go to georgia.org. You can go to georgia.org.
Cool. I will,
type it on your phone. And you can learn more about what's going on. If they have any cast and crew calls, there's a hotline. You can learn more.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, it's time to move on.
To the top 3.
Yep.
Oh, no. I'm not prepared.
So, today's top 3 is, we've done superhero movies before, so we decided to just specifically talk about top 3 Ben Affleck movies.
Reindeer games.
And remember, this is our personal top 3. This is not supposed to be a scientific list.
I made mine scientific.
Oh, well, that's good. You went above and beyond.
A lot of data.
I now have to change it.
A lot of number crunching.
Yeah, now I have to change it, yeah.
So,
Nielsen ratings.
do we want to do name our top 3 each, or do the countdown like we've been doing?
I'm cool with just whatever. Let's just name our top 3.
What is the countdown?
Well, we can't 3.
Start at 3.
3.
go
and then,
I mean, what do you find more intriguing?
I don't know, guys. It's just so intriguing. I don't know. Like, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen the others. Intrigue versus intrigue.
All right. So we'll just name our top 3. And
Do we all go at once? And then just overlap?
No, we haven't done that. We haven't done that yet.
2, 3. No, okay, so we'll just... How about Martin? Why don't you start with your
I'll
top
start
3?
with my top 3.
Yeah.
So why don't
Do
you
your top 1. No, I mean, I like going 1, 1, 1.
Okay, well then we'll do...
Then
we'll
we'll do
start
it,
at the
yeah.
bottom up.
Yeah.
We'll start with
We'll
number
start bottom
3.
up.
That's better.
Okay.
We'll start with number 3 then.
Is that way you're not copying me?
All right. So my number 3 is going to be Good Will Hunting.
Oh, I should have gone
And
with
I actually almost left Good Will Hunting off the list because it's more a Matt Damon movie, except for the fact that Ben co-wrote it. So mine is Good Will Hunting.
That's it? That's all you say? You don't tell
Well, we're
about
gonna
it?
talk
We're going to talk about it later.
Oh, okay. All right, well, then I'll go with, I have to be quite honest, I don't have a 3. I looked through IMDb, and I'm not a big fan, like, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, and so I've come with 2. So I'm going to say 3. I can't even put one out there, 3. Okay. But I got a good 2 and a 1.
All right.
And I'm not, trust me, I'm not sandbagging. I'm not like, I did my homework.
Okay, so
Many hours.
give your 3
Right.
so we can get to 2.
So my number 3 was Armageddon, a film that I
yeah.
Oh my god.
That one almost made it.
Like, remember we said
Just the animal crackers alone just would take me out of that one, man. For real.
This is not about like overall quality. It's just a movie that I enjoyed that Ben Affleck had a major role in. So
Okay. I thought it was about Ben Affleck though.
But no, this is just happens
Just
to be
about the
his
films,
movies,
okay, that he's in.
Yes.
I got it, okay.
All right, number 2. Since Ted didn't have number 3, we'll let him do number 2.
Yeah,
I'll do that Armageddon as 3 because that was a good movie. I did, but I enjoyed the black dude riding the Harley more than I enjoyed the, him riding the little animal crackers over the chick's belly. Okay. I thought that was really silly. But anyway, that was my favorite part of the movie. Where he's like, hey, if you want to find him, he's the only black dude on a Harley riding. That was my favorite part. But anyway, I digress. All right, so second. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the film a lot. Oh, we don't talk about it yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, sorry.
That's cool.
That's it.
You can do yours.
All right, my number 2 is The Town.
The Town. See, that was
Which,
if we were doing the column, I would be on my honorable mention list, but it's not. So my number 2 is Dazed and Confused.
Was he in that?
Yes, he's barely in
He's
it.
got a minor role in it.
More than Matthew McConaughey?
Nope.
No, he's got a small
Less.
role.
He's
So
O'Bannon.
I
you
didn't
give the
put-
wedgie to?
He's O'Bannon. He's the one who beats everybody with
Yeah, I
a
do
stick.
remember that. Yeah. He didn't.
I
look
didn't
like
put it on
himself.
my list because I thought his role was too minor.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I mean, that would be any film. But go ahead.
Number 1.
Oh, you go first, Martin.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Critically acclaimed, kind of. I'm going to go with The Accountant. as my number one.
Nice.
I'll tell you why later.
I really like The Accountant.
Me too.
I wanted to put it on my top 3, but I didn't. My number 1 is Chasing Amy.
Nice.
For sentimental reasons, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm being sentimental too, and I'm giving
both
a
rent the
big
film,
slack.
or?
I'm giving a big.
What was our first date? We both went on
Yeah, that's good. Wow. Did you try the popcorn trick? Which one of y'all tried the popcorn trick? Both?
Yeah, so it didn't work because we both had our
hands
own.
hit. Like,
we tried our own popcorn.
right. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so now I guess now we can talk about the movies itself. Like we talk about the movies itself. So your top 3 were
Chasing Amy, The Town, and Armageddon.
Your top 2 were
Armageddon. I had as third. Now.
Okay, third.
Yeah,
okay.
And then I went to second was Good Will Hunting, and then The Accountant.
The Accountant, and then mine were Chasing Amy, Dazed and Confused, and Good Will Hunting. So let's talk, I guess, Good Will Hunting because that's on everybody's.
No,
not on yours. It's on our list. So let's talk about like what's the best part. You know, why is Good Will Hunting on your list?
To me, I think they came out with it right. That was their kind of that they, him and Matt Damon. So because he helped write it, because all the stories you hear, which they're true or not, who knows, but about them pitching it and getting through in Hollywood and having their script taken and and sticking up for themselves and all that.
Right.
That's really why, and I think the movie's great.
Right.
I'm not a big Ben Affleck fan. I think Matt Damon should be considered a better actor than him. Hasn't been. I think Ben Affleck's brother is an excellent actor. I really like Casey a lot and a lot of things he does. But we're not talking about him. But as far as Good Will Hunting, of course, I love Robin Williams, one of my favorites. Rest in peace. And then I love Minnie Driver. There's a great cast and a great script, and it was something inventive and cool and enough independent, but enough mainstream to where it captured you.
I think that's perfectly said because I think that's what it is. It's like an indie movie with a mainstream appeal to it.
Yeah.
Especially with the Robin Williams performance and then the real breakout from Matt Damon. Because that was Matt Damon's movie.
Yeah.
And
he played the hero in it. He played the guy that got the girl.
Yeah. So. And it's just an excellent movie, and also I have a lot of fond memories of that movie because that was early on in sort of our
night for you guys?
No, we might have seen it together actually because I think we saw it on like New Year's Day or something like that. Back when Derek was our roommate, so I think we did. But
shout out to Derek.
Yeah,
wow.
Listening.
But it was that independent film heyday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Swingers.
Yeah,
exactly. Right around there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I got a lot of sentimental attachment to Good Will Hunting.
I like Good Will Hunting too. I just didn't put him on my list because I didn't really consider it a Ben Affleck film per se. I mean, he did help write it,
exactly.
But like I don't know. I just thought, and then, plus I like 3 other movies better.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you're wrong, but
no. But I guess as far as Chasing Amy, I mean, going into the sentimental reasons, it wasn't really about that. But Chasing Amy is, I mean, Kevin Smith was one of the reasons why I got into filmmaking because I really enjoyed Clerks, and it was an inspiration to see somebody come from a completely independent setting, make it big with a really completely independent movie. But I thought Chasing Amy was a big step up for Kevin Smith and for Ben Affleck. I thought Ben Affleck really showed more of a range than he'd ever shown in any of his other movies, even Good Will Hunting. Because, in Good Will Hunting, he's pretty much playing the boss, the Boston guy. But, and Chasing Amy is an enjoyable movie, and I don't think Kevin Smith really met that level again.
I agree with that. And, it's definitely, again, another sentimental pick for me because of that heyday of independent films and movies that seem possible. It's like that movie, as good as it is and as well as it did, it's like seemed possible to actually do that as a true indie. You know what I mean? And of course, you can't do that without really good performances like Ben Affleck and Jason Lee in that film. But it's certainly a really good movie and certainly Kevin Smith's sort of high bar, I think. So I guess that brings us to Armageddon or The Accountant. Which one do we want to
go to Armageddon? Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about Armageddon, right? You loved the animal cracker scene.
No, I hated it. I like the Harley dude.
So next, and I'm gonna just I think I cheated a little bit with Dazed and Confused. It's just I watch it a lot. So
I love Days and Confused.
I love the
just
movie.
didn't.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, nah, I can't really consider that a Ben Affleck movie.
I agree with you now, and I should have put something else on there.
Yeah, you really.
So
dropped
it
the
might have
ball
been
there.
it might have been The Town. Probably is probably the one that was competing.
Well, I was actually kind of surprised that nobody said Argo.
Argo was on my list too, but then I was like, you know,
To
I
me-
forget about it. It was a good movie, but now it's not
Yeah.
one that resonates.
Yeah, and maybe because it didn't win, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was like nominated. Everybody thought it was going to get some big,
Right.
you know, Ben Affleck was going to get the directing award, but he didn't. But I still think The Town, which is on my list, is a better film. Honestly, I just it's a film that stays with you more. I think it's more memorable. It's got some more scenes in it that have like really like captures like
Yeah.
the visual feel. I mean, just like when they're robbing the bank and they're wearing the nun, with the scary masks.
But aren't you kind of contradicting because he's doing the same Bast and
He is doing the
Right.
he's doing the Bast.
right?
But it was a little bit more nuanced in that one. While the character is a very Bastin guy, I mean, I also have to give him props for directing it as well, though. So in that case, and I think it's just like really proved that he was a really good director from that standpoint.
No, it was a really good film. I agree. It was really good. So, so let me revise my list, and I'll say Town.
You're
is
going to make
really
it
good.
really hard on me to edit this together with
I
all
know.
the
I'm
imagery
sorry.
and stuff
I'm
like
sorry.
that. Now I'm going to like take images.
I'm sorry. That's my bad. But now I want to hear about The Accountant, because you know I like The Accountant, and you know why. But let's talk about The Accountant.
Yeah, from me. So the thing I've always had a problem with Affleck as opposed to Damon is that I don't see Affleck, and me personally, as a guy that could save you in a fire. You know what I mean? He's not like a hero.
Right.
I see Damon as that more so. They're both not Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, but you know what I mean. But
Right.
but I see him as more the Bourne Identity. I like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of always been a problem with The Accountant. He filled both sides of that perfectly for me. He really came out of his shell for me. People love him, but I didn't like him until that movie. And he played the nerdy accountant, the intellectual. But then when he picked up the gun and started firing, you believed it. You know, he had some really good action sequences in the film, and there were some cool things about the film that I believed about him for the first time ever. I don't buy him in a lot of the other action roles and being a tough guy. He's just not that. I don't know why the public sees him as that, but
He's a big guy. I think that's why. You know what I mean? He's a
but
big
he's
dude.
just tall. I mean, he's tall. You know, I mean,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. If you put the two side by side, you know, I would say
him and who? Matt Damon?
Yeah, Ben Affleck is going to kick Matt Damon's ass.
Sure. I know. It's
But
just
I'm just
something.
saying-
Like I said, it's my opinion. I just think that I read Matt Damon as more of an action hero than Ben Affleck for some reason.
Yeah. No.
Tall doesn't make you an action hero.
I get
like,
it.
Manute
Like,
Bol wouldn't be a good
No,
action.
No,
I get that.
wouldn't
And I'm
be a
just saying,
basketball
like, if
player.
you really,
Quite honest.
I know, if you really look at them, you'd be like, Ben Affleck's going to kick Matt Damon's ass. But
Yeah.
you're right. Matt
Until he
Damon
speaks.
Matt Damon does look like a more commanding presence on screen
Yeah.
for the most part. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, they probably both should have stuck with stuff like Goodwill Hunting. You know what I mean? Instead
Right.
of trying to be action heroes, but that's where the money is, and that's where the
I mean, I think
film is.
I think both of them do a little bit of both, right?
They do.
Right, sure.
Another one that was on that list, I never saw it, but I heard a lot of praise for Affleck was Tomorrowland. Not Tomorrowland.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The one with where he plays Superman.
Yeah, he plays the guy who played Superman.
Yeah. It's not,
Yeah.
What is it called?
I didn't see it.
Yes, it's called something like
That movie.
Superman Land?
no. It was, I think it may be called
Oh no, I'm gonna have to like.
Land of Tomorrow or something like
I'm
that.
gonna
I
have to
don't know.
like.
Land of
IMDb it
Oz?
now because like I'm so.
Yeah, he got a lot of. I mean, he got a lot of acclaim for that performance, but now we can't even remember the name of it.
Not,
so.
yeah, so it wasn't
Yeah, it was
that
awesome.
memorable.
It was awesome.
And,
He did great in that.
Hollywoodland.
Hollywoodland, yes.
That was what it was
Yes,
called.
Tomorrowland was the George Clooney.
Exactly.
Thing, but yeah, I don't know why I brought that up, but I think it's funny because he was getting a lot of critical acclaim with that. I mean, it's not funny, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was like he was getting a lot of critical acclaim saying this is his best acting performance, yet none of us named it. So.
See, that threw me off a little bit because I thought we were talking about what movie Ben Affleck was good in, not necessarily what movie he was in that was good. I loved Argo.
Okay.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yes.
But I didn't, his role.
I mean, true. And again, maybe I should have given
No,
you a
it's
little bit
okay,
more
it's
about
okay.
it. But
I forgive
it's
you.
basically top 3 Ben Affleck movies, no matter what, are just your favorites.
Yeah, no.
So
I loved Argo.
And Argo's great, and it almost made my list. So
Yeah,
but it doesn't resonate like as much as some of the other ones. For me.
It's not as memorable. Like you don't really,
Right.
I couldn't tell you the beats of the movie as much as other movies.
It's not. I mean, honestly, it's not. It doesn't even resonate as much as Shakespeare in Love, which of course he has a small part in, which is also another controversial Oscar winner.
See, in Shakespeare in Love, he's the one that went around with the paddle beating people.
No, that's Days of Confused.
Oh, sorry.
In the
and
Shakespeare in
Confused,
Love,
he drove the NASCAR with Tom Cruise. He was Days in.
No, that's Days of Thunder.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, but
expert opinions from Ted Huckabee.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me when I'm in the car. People talk to me. Talk to me. That was him.
No.
All right.
So I guess we've sort of gone over the top three. So to recap,
I don't even know where we're at anymore. My top three was Chasing Amy, The Town, and Armageddon.
Yeah. Mine were Argo, Days of Thunder, and
Reindeer
and
Games.
Hooper. That's my favorite movie of all time.
All right. Mine were Chasing Amy, Days of Confused, which I probably shouldn't have put on here, and then Good Will Hunting.
It's good.
All right. Well, that very in-depth discussion, we're going to move on to our big
movie review.
Oh, here we go.
So, this week's big movie review is, of course, Justice League, starring Ben Affleck.
Wow.
Starring.
Notice how none of us picked it as our top three.
Wow. So I guess we're already jumping right in, huh?
Let's just jump right in.
So, of course...
we normally would recap the movie.
Yeah, let's set the stage for what Justice League is. It's a
superhero film
based on DC comic characters that includes Wonder Woman, Batman, The Flash, Aquaman, Superman,
and that other dude,
and Cyborg.
That's what it is, Cyborg.
Yes.
Although Superman's a little bit of a spoiler, but spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
but his logo is in the poster, so
Sure,
I'm pretty sure he pretty much.
And he's part of the Justice League if you follow comics, which I don't.
Really? Huh?
If you follow cartoons, he definitely.
Oh, it's not comics.
Super Friends?
No, it is comics too.
Do they make the skate shoe too? DC?
The what?
Never mind. Go ahead.
So anyway,
Go ahead. I'm telling y'all to go ahead on your podcast. Go ahead. Hurry up with your podcast.
Basically, the formation of the Justice League and how they come together as a team, and so yeah, I mean, there's not much more to it than that, and there's a bunch of action scenes that happen.
There's a bunch of action scenes that happen. That's true.
What can you say about this movie? I mean,
let's let Ted.
Oh, sure, I got notes.
Oh, he's got notes. This is where the notes come in. Okay.
All right. First of all, I think this is one of Ben Affleck's heavier roles, and I don't mean the dialogue. I'm one to talk, of course, but the camera adds 50 pounds, and in his little Batman mask, it was like over his cheeks and his chin were overflowing out of the mask. That's my first note. And I was like, man, that doesn't look like Batman. You know what I mean? Also, why does he change his voice when he's in the suit? Seriously, like he's normal dude.
It's voice modulated.
Yeah, but it doesn't cover his throat, believe me, or the second chin. It didn't cover both of those. Best Actor Award goes. You can look it up. I don't know the kid's name, but The Flash.
Ezra Miller.
He did a great job, man. He really did a great job. Kind of stole the show on that. Had some really nuanced little eye looks and things that really worked good. Second best actor was Cyborg, the black guy there. His first scene was really good with his dad.
Ray Fisher.
Yes.
Wonderful actor there. I have a critique here. Why couldn't, not to be spoiler alert, but the bad guy, why couldn't he be a real actor?
That was one of the things that bugged me too.
Because everyone else is somewhat CG. The Cyborg, of course, you know what I mean. And then in different spots in the film, they have to be. You can tell it's CG'd, of course. So make that guy an actor, and then just CG when he has to shoot through the wall and all that stuff.
Yeah, so Steppenwolf is the.
Sorry, my daughter's got to turn her phone off.
Steppenwolf is the name of the villain.
Yes.
And he is basically a CGI character.
Yes, can I go on? I have more notes.
You can.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Are you going to let us chime in too?
No. This is my notes, then you go to your notes. Come on, this is how we do this podcast. Mercedes, they can kiss my butt, man. Like, why does it have to be product placement? I love Mercedes, but like, this is DC Comics, for God. They don't have enough money to sell out to Mercedes, so Mercedes can give them a couple $1 million to film this.
Everyone does it.
I know, but it's wrong. That's wrong. Like, every character drove a Mercedes. I'm like,
it was a very
it was crazy.
And here's the other thing: Batman's rich. He admits it. That's a superpower. But Wonder Woman is never rich, but she rolls up in a Benz. How did she make her money?
Come on, Wonder Woman looks set. I mean, if you see.
But how? She's probably stealing. I'm just saying. Okay, Jason Momomola. I think it's his coming out party, man. He did a great job. He's your new action hero guy if they play it right, because the dude is obviously, he's got a lot of appeal. People like Vin Diesel and your other action, even Dwayne Johnson and other action hero muscle guys. They better watch out, because this guy did a great job. Had not a lot of meat on the bone, but took it and was very
shirt off a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, very ripped dude and big dude, and he's got the look, and he could be really good. Didn't understand. Oh, can you do this one?
Well, you could do that.
I don't want to ruin it for people.
Well, no, if they saw the other movie, they know that Superman's dead.
Oh, well, how does Superman die? I don't read comics, so I don't even know.
Did you not see the other Batman versus Superman?
No one told me I had to see that one too.
I'm not saying you had to. Nobody.
I'm just saying, if you go to see a movie, you only see that movie. They didn't come back with anyway. Superman's dead.
I mean, that's something you can say about shared universes in general, is that they almost require you to go see all the other movies.
Right, it's terrible.
People that come in fresh don't really know.
Right.
Little side note: Amazon Island. I would like to visit there for a couple of weeks. I'm just saying, there's a lot of CrossFit chicks on that island, and there's no dudes. Not one man on that island, and a bunch of CrossFit chicks. I would like to just go and say hello.
But you see what happens when a man shows up.
Oh, yeah, but he's a mean man. I'm a sweet man, ladies. I'm a nice man. I'm a nice married man. But not on Amazon Island. All right. Of course, tons of unrealistic fights. People getting thrown through walls and stuff, and no problem, no heart.
Right.
That's typical with these movies. But I got one other question, and this kind of will seal up my review, but I haven't even reviewed it yet. Bats. Yes. Batman. Uh-huh. Why is no one even worrying that Batman doesn't fly like a bat? He never flies. Bats fly, right? They do. I've seen it. They fly. Yes. He falls and then throws a cape out to slow himself down. Right?
Yeah, but
I'm listening.
Okay. I don't know that we got time to explain all of Batman.
Iron Man flies.
How he works.
Iron Man flies.
Yeah, but does Iron fly?
No, but Iron Man is rich. And if that's his superpower, so is Batman's superpower.
But Batman flies because he's got a plane. He flies his plane around.
Let me explain something. Do you ever seen a bat in a plane? No, they fly, right? He should be able to fly.
Okay.
It's a bat.
So we'll get to your review segment later. But what do you think?
I haven't started yet.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You're up, Michael.
Oh no. So you actually bring up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Look,
I took this seriously.
Are faulty in the movie. I have a lot of problem with the film. Okay, let's just say this. It was better than Batman versus Superman, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I still think DC doesn't know how to do superheroes the right way. Except for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a step up, and then this is back to it's mediocre. It was it's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. It was there.
It was entertaining. Yeah.
But
I had heard before I went in that it sucked, and it did. I have to say, it did not suck.
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't
did
suck.
Not suck.
It's just not a great movie, and there's a lot of action that you just don't care about. I will say my favorite part of the movie was when Superman comes back to life and their encounter with Superman. I thought that scene was really well done. Mm-hmm. The Justice League taking on Superman.
Right.
But it leads me to another part. You're talking about people getting thrown through walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what these characters' powers are. Like, what are their limitations?
Right.
What are their...
First of all, Batman doesn't have a power. He admits it.
Yeah,
he's just a rich dude who makes suits. He gets thrown 40 feet into a brick wall. The brick wall falls, and he's got a bruise on his back.
That's what I mean. It's like you don't have any kind of fear for the characters because you don't. There's like
even the one you should the one person that you should be scared 4 is Batman because the other people are a little bit enhanced.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
Right.
And you're right. He probably should
Superpowers.
be dead half the time.
10 times over.
You know, but yeah, and I agree. It's certainly not a terrible movie by any stretch, and it's entertaining in stretches. But I don't like when a movie feels like it was shot in a studio, and there's a lot of scenes in this movie that look like they're shot in a studio, rather than as opposed to Marvel, which every now and then you'll have a really messed up CGI segment or whatever, but usually they're pretty good about making it feel like they're in the world.
Yeah. Well, just way too much CGI in general. Like the villain, why didn't he cast a real actor for that? Like,
exactly.
And add a little CG.
Yeah, and then like even Cyborg, I thought felt fake to me. Just the way the CGI didn't look real. Like it didn't look like. I mean, he didn't look like a cyborg. He looked like somebody with CGI covering his extremities.
Right.
But yeah.
And it's all been done before, to be honest. I mean, don't go to this movie expecting to see something out of a superhero movie that you haven't seen before, because you know what's going to happen.
And it really has a bad timing because Thor comes out 2 weeks before it.
Right.
And Thor, I liked the new Thor a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought they did something really fun with Thor. This movie just lacks fun to me. It doesn't have the fun factor that the Marvel movies have.
And I would even say that it probably, like I was going to say, take your kids to it because you won't expect anything, blah, blah, blah. But it's a little scary, I think, for young kids, compared to a lot of superhero films.
Well, that was the other thing. Is like, what's the villain's motivation really? That's not really explained too well.
Yeah.
And he says that he's working for Darkseid, who's like the big. In the DC universe, he's like the big. He's Thanos of the DC universe, but we've never seen him. We don't know anything about him. Like only if you read the comics are you going to. Well, if you know a little bit about DC's history, you would know who he is. But otherwise, you don't know who he is.
No, I definitely don't know who he is. But
and that was another thing that bugged me about this film too, was also that the Avengers, like comparing it to the Avengers, which is it's an easy comparison to make.
It is a fair comparison.
With the Avengers, you had a bunch of characters coming together, but they all had their own films beforehand. And this one, you're shoehorning in Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg into a movie, and you don't really know that much about them. Now, there's another movie that came out last year or 2 years ago, Suicide Squad, where they introduced all these characters, and they spent half the movie telling you their backstories. I don't want that, but I also felt like these characters were like, I didn't know enough about them to want to care for them.
No, but I do think like some of it worked and some of it didn't. I do think I think The Flash was a bright spot, like Ted mentioned. The kid's so good, like Ezra, he's a really good actor, and the character was so cool. But yeah, if you didn't know any of these characters, which I didn't know.
I think they're assuming you know them, though. You know what I mean? And that's kind of pompous, right?
It is if you're expecting a mass audience to get into it, because not everybody reads comics.
Right. No, I don't, to be honest.
And I don't either. I know a lot about comics because of Mike and Eddie and friends of mine who are into comics, and they tell me about some of this stuff, so I get it secondhand. But I don't read them.
And I have to admit, I'm a bit biased because I'm a Marvel guy. But anyway. We're running very close on time,
so let's just get the final review.
I'm going to give it a C. Average movie.
Okay. I'll give it a C as well. Just C.
Yeah, I guess I would give it a C as well. It's a good movie. It's not a good movie. Sorry. It's a C movie. It's entertaining. You won't be mad that you spent your money, but you won't see anything you hadn't seen before.
Right.
And take your wife, because Jason Momoa takes his shirt off. And then you can go home and speak whatever it is, Hawaiian to her. And you're gonna...
After the review, we always do our technique topic, and today our technique topic is based on our guest, Ted Huckabee here. And he's an actor in Atlanta. He's been in many, many projects, and so we thought it'd be great to have him talk specifically about acting in Atlanta and the ups and downs of it and his experiences. And, we also are planning, CinemATL alert, we're planning on a podcast featuring Ted, and it's going to be called...
it's going to be called Scale Plus Ted, which is a play on words. If you're an actor, you know what I'm talking about.
What if you're not an actor?
And then you don't know what I'm talking about. But that's normal. Like, a lot of people listen to me don't know what I'm talking about anyway, so including my family.
And so, you know, in the podcast, you're gonna have actor friends, and you guys are gonna be talking about
just local acting, not necessarily local. I hate that word, local or Atlanta actor. I hate that, to be honest. But we're gonna be talking about stories within sets that we've been on, the nature of the business in general, and what it's like to be an actor, to be a working actor. So I have working actors on every month, every week, whatever we decide. And we'll just, no holds barred. You know, they can tell as much as they want to tell, or they can tell as little as they want to tell. If they tell as little as they want to tell, then they'll never be back on my show. Because I want them to tell everything that you want to know about, you know, Danny Glover's kid.
Yeah, exactly.
If you worked on that show.
Exactly.
So, I guess, like, let's talk about, like, what it is to be a working actor versus...
You know, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say what it is, because what is working actor? So I always tell people that, you know, I could probably survive as a single man on an actor's salary that I make now. And that, to me, as a working actor, you work enough projects to make a living just doing acting. So that's a working actor. To other actors, it may mean something different. It may mean that they, you know, get 3-4 gigs a year, and that's great, and that's wonderful for them, and that could be a working actor to them. To me, it means, you know, you work your butt off and try to get to a level to where you can pay your bills by just doing your craft, whatever that is.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a working actor to me. And in Atlanta, it's people would argue it's getting easier. Yes and no. You know, I'm a little jaded on that, but
Sure.
But yeah, it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do since I was a kid, so that's what I've chose to do.
So I know we're not going to get any spoilers out of you for Walking Dead, but how has that experience been? You've been on like 4 seasons now?
4 seasons. My 4th season. I started season 5, and now we're in 8. We just wrapped 8 last week, I guess. And it's been great. You know, I'm a recurring role. I'm not one of the regulars, I guess, but I'm recurring role. I've done, kind of a spoiler alert, I guess I've done 13 episodes now over 4 seasons. So as you guys know that watch the show, a lot of times the whole episode will focus on 2 or 3 characters. So they will go 2 months without bringing in characters you forgot about. So last season, I think I only did 1 episode because they, as you know, focused heavily on Negan, the new character, and the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And so it's been great. It's been a great experience. It's been a great ride. You know, just coming in as the guy in the 5th season. So Bruce,
do you prefer like television work, or do you prefer like feature film work, or do you like commercials, or what's your favorite?
To me, I think feature films is the major league. You know what I mean? In my opinion, of course, I love TV and commercials, but to me, you know, to be able to work on a film and for 3 months be concentrated, actually more than that, but 3 months of shooting, but before that, just concentrate on that character and get into that character, I think is, to me, it's the major leagues. That's what I would try to do. Now, the other things are great, and I don't mind ever working. I just want to be on a set and work, but to be in film is the coolest part to me, because you can actually be that person. Right. More so than a commercial or you know, even TV shows where you are, yes, you're a character, but you're not working it every day. Right. You know, 10 hours a day or whatever, 12 hours a day. So
we have a lot of people listen to our podcast. I won't say a lot of people, but you know,
well, you just did
the tens of
listeners,
thousands of people. Her trying to get into the industry. So, like, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who is just starting out as an actor in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, probably go to law school, or you know, I mean, like, I know a buddy of mine's dad owns 3 McDonald's, and if you start out there, like 5 or 6 years, you can definitely be in the management program at McDonald's. You know, you have a steadier check, you'll have benefits, you won't have ulcers, you won't be bitter, you won't be angry, you'll probably stay married. So that's probably the best, you know, advice I could give a new up-and-coming actor. I'm not really joking, but I am. So to be honest, a lot of people want to be actors for the wrong reasons. A lot of people want to be actors because they think they're going to be flying on private jets and riding in limousines and famous. That's absolutely, positively the wrong reason to do it. And there are a lot of people that do it for that reason, and they're wrong. And does it mean you can't make it? No, of course you can. In our area, our day and time of YouTube and celebrity for no reason, yeah, man, you can do it. It can happen. But that kind of dilutes the reason actors act. Actors act because they have to act. You have to entertain. It comes from within. It's something that you try to push down and get rid of, and it keeps seeping out of your pores. So for me, that's what it is. Sounds kind of cheesy and weird, I understand, but I act because I have to. You know what I mean? It's all I've ever wanted to do since I was a little kid. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be in it this long, because it's not for everyone. And so for the person that really thinks they can act and really thinks that they love this business and really thinks that they want to be an actor for no other reason other than they have to do it, go for it. But for everyone else, try it. Go for it. Hopefully you'll be a Kardashian, but there's a good chance you won't be. And then find something else to fall back on. Not saying you can't make it. You certainly can. There's a ton of actors out there that have no talent and no skill, and they're killing it. But don't let rejection stop you.
So what would you say, based on, that, what would you say someone's they're in it for the right reasons? What would you say is the most important, skill to have? Is it, something in terms of, study, or is it, talent in terms of being able to audition, or what's the most important thing?
Yeah, no, I think there's several different facets that have to come together. Number one, you have to be relentless in your pursuit. You know what I mean? You can't give up. For me, you have to. It's not necessarily thick skin. Everybody talks about rejection. What people don't know that aren't in the business or that are getting into the business, it's not per se rejection. It's not that you ask the girl out to the prom and she tells you you're gross and fat, get out of my face. That's rejection, right?
Right.
No, as an actor, you go and do your audition, you think you nailed it, you did it perfectly, you loved it, people in the room laughed, or if they're supposed to laugh, they cry if they're supposed to cry, and you walk out. Now, rejection would be them calling you up and telling you you're fat and ugly, you don't get the part.
Right.
Well, they don't do that. So there's no rejection, they just don't call you at all.
Right.
So to persevere, to push through that, you just have to release any hopes of getting that role. You have to just get rid of it once you go in the room. So that's perseverance. When you go in there, you have to persevere and know that you can get through it and do that aspect of it. The other things you need is the ability to study. I mean, it is a job. So study your lines, know your lines. Don't go in there half-ass. Take it seriously. It's a business. And if you really want to do it, you can make it happen. You have to work hard at it, but it is a business. So don't just say, I'm a pretty face, I'm a this and that, and I can make it. Work at it, man. Work at your craft. So that's another thing you have to have. I would say you have to have talent, but as we talked about with some of our topics earlier, talent isn't a prerequisite to be a famous actor, for sure. We see it all the time. So, yeah, persevere. Go through.
Okay. Well, I think some people think that acting is like an easy job because, you get to just play around and stuff like that. But I think that really, acting is just like any other career or any other thing where you're trying to do. If you don't work hard at it, you're not going to succeed, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. I always say that. I hate to hear actors say how tough they had it on set today. Oh my God, I was on set for 14 hours. Oh my God, that was so tough. And then they ran out of chips at Crafty. That's just bullshit. I've dug ditches, I've cut grass, I'm friends with mechanics and friends with welders, and they're my good buddies, and that's hard work, man. Being an actor. Yes, the background is hard. The lifestyle is hard. The as my wife and I call it, the mailbox roulette is hard. Where you go to the mailbox is either a bill or a check. Mostly it's a bill. You don't get a check every day or every week or every month. You know what I mean? That's all hard. The mental aspect of it is hard. But when you're on set and you're prepared to work, man, there are hardworking Americans all over this country that bust their ass every day, and we're just actors, man. We're doing what we're supposed to do, what we have to do, what we want to do, and it's not hard work once you get on set. Yes, it's hard mentally preparing and being prepared and busting your tail on the back end, but once you get on set, man, it's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. I'd rather be on set than anywhere besides the CinemATL podcast.
Oh,
in this
say,
world,
I was
you know what
gonna
I mean?
say.
I mean, this is a dream come true.
This is
really.
like the
This
best.
is like a
This
set.
is, yeah,
This is the best place to be.
This is, man.
in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
So let's talk about fun stuff though. Like what's just briefly like what are some of your highlights? Some of the highlights of your career in terms of acting. What are the best things you've liked to do?
Oh, I mean, golly. Honestly, anytime I'm working is just it's fun, man. It's awesome. I can't really pinpoint anything specific. Physicality is great. I love doing stunts and stuff like that. I also love being challenged. I just did a TV show, which I haven't watched it yet. My family watched it. I have a hard time watching things, but I recorded. I'll watch it one day. But where I got to cry. And I enjoy that because people look at me and don't think, you probably can't cry, and I can. So that was cool. Just as an actor, to be challenged and to be able to cry and, be upset about someone dying that really didn't die. So that's fun. Just anytime being challenged,
Right.
is a good thing.
So now it's time for the movie game.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know what this game is,
Which
it
would be
is
me.
it's basically a movie chain. So basically, what happens is
I'm out.
I will name an actor, and then you would have to name a movie that actor was in, and then Martin would have to name another actor from that movie, and we go around and around until somebody can't make it.
Oh, I'm dead.
So we can do it. And the way we play, it's first to win 2 rounds. And the only other rule is you can't name an actor or movie twice in the same chain.
round. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do we win?
You win
You win
pride.
pride.
Bucket of pride.
Right.
bucket of pride.
A bucket. Oh.
A boatload of pride. So
I'm
since
terrible
you're
at this.
since you're our
Terrible
guest,
at this, man.
we're gonna
Terrible
let
at
you name.
names.
You can name an actor or a movie, and then Martin go next, and we'll go around like this.
Oh, I'm so dead already. All right. So just any movie.
Any movie.
Or any actor.
Or any actor.
All right. Hooper.
Burt Reynolds.
Cannonball Run.
Ooh, Terry Bradshaw.
Ooh. Okay. Failure to launch.
Matthew McConaughey.
Dazed and Confused.
Jason London.
Jason London.
Oh.
He's just wanting you to say his movie. He can't say it
Guys,
because
I can't say.
it's not
can't
out
say
yet.
full.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me this.
Oh, sorry.
Jason London. Well,
Is there a time limit?
I know Jeremy London. Jason London.
There is.
Oh. I know it. I don't know. Singles?
No.
No, yeah, I didn't think he was in that.
Boom.
All right,
so
First
now-
round's over.
I'm out. But,
Jumanji. no, that's what I thought.
Now you and I keep
So
going.
now-
Oh, we did. Oh.
but you start it. You can start over. So
Yeah.
so Martin, since you eliminated me, you go next. We'll bring
Good
up-
Will Hunting.
Robin Williams.
Jumanji.
Jack Black.
Oh. Whoa.
No, sorry. Sorry, hold on.
Damn
it. Huh?
Yeah, but you didn't say which Jumanji because they may have archival.
But if I'm talking about
You're right.
the Robin
you're right,
Williams,
you're
it's
right,
the original
you're right.
Jumanji.
Oh, sorry, but I can. I have to use that
You have
movie.
to use that movie, yes.
That doesn't make any damn sense, man. Because they just made. Okay, all right. Hold on.
That's a tough one, actually.
I don't even remember who's in that movie. Hold on.
I know somebody else in that.
You
You can challenge too. That's one of the rules that I didn't mention.
What
If
is
you don't
ch-
think you can name somebody else.
challenge.
Then you win. Ted wins.
Ted,
Wow.
You won the first round.
round one.
Because I don't know who else was in the original Jumanji.
I can tell you real quick.
I thought we could use the other one. And Jack Black's not in the new one.
Kirsten Dunst is in it,
The original, that's right. She is. Wow.
and so is Bonnie Hunt. That was the one I.
I should have remembered that.
All right,
I like
so-
Bonnie Hunt a lot.
How many rounds do we do?
We do
first to two.
So
you won
got
one.
Oh, okay, good.
All right.
Yeah.
So since you won, why don't you start again?
Oh,
And
okay.
we'll go this way.
This time we'll go this
the
way.
other way.
All right. Let's see here. Heat.
Al Pacino.
Man, let me think. Godfather.
James Caan.
The Program.
Ooh, okay, The Program.
Wow, that's a tough one, to be honest. About football, right?
Omar Epps.
I can't challenge him because then he would name another movie Omar Epps is in, right? Is that
Yes,
the real?
yes.
Correct. There's plenty, right?
I know, but I can't think of any. I can't think of it. Yeah, type it up. EPP.
No, you can't look it up. I'm just verifying over here.
I don't have one. I can't think of one. Seriously, I got his face in my head.
All right.
All right, who is it? Wait,
You got.
what do I say?
You're out.
You're out.
I
Or
think
you
you're
challenge
out.
me.
No, I'm out. I'm out.
Okay. So we'll.
I would have
we'll
said
continue.
O, but I also wouldn't know anybody else in that. So if you would have challenged me, that would have been okay. But anyway.
I think O is wrong, actually.
Okay. Well.
Juice is the right answer. But okay.
Okay. Well, good thing I didn't say that.
Right. Because Mekhi Phifer's in O.
Oh, you're right.
So go ahead.
Good thing. No, it's you. You
Oh, it's me.
him.
Okay.
Yes, y'all too, because I'm out.
Yeah. So how about Bottle Rocket?
Bottle Rocket.
Ooh.
Owen Wilson.
Wonder.
It's not out yet, but
Yeah, it is.
It is out.
It is out, yeah.
Fine. Julia Roberts.
Mystic Pizza.
Oh, jeez. Robert Downey Jr. Seeing that? I don't
No. Boom. So okay, I got one. You got one.
All right, good.
All right.
So
All right.
let's let Michael go.
Martin, since you won,
Oh,
you
okay.
can
So
go
which
now.
way do we go?
The opposite of what we did last time. So I go after you.
Okay. How about Shanghai Noon?
Owen Wilson.
How about that? Oh my God. I'm just drawing blank. Oh, broke the damn chair.
Oh no.
I just got stressed. Okay, they didn't break it all the way. Kinda.
Okay.
There goes your budget. Wedding Crashers.
There you
Vince Vaughn.
go. Swingers.
It's okay. Just don't put your mother-in-law in this one. Oh, it's Swingers to me. Oh God. I have to name an actor, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's the other actor? You're so money. You don't even know. You're so money.
money. You don't even know.
Joe Pesci.
No. Damn it. All right. So
John Favreau. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
So,
I'm just trying to throw y'all. He had a small role off the pizza
you
parlor.
you threw him. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh my God.
Oh really? Okay. Transformers: The Last Night.
I don't know why I brought that
Mark Wahlberg.
up.
Where's your chair? It's fine.
Daddy's Home.
Linda Cardellini.
Scooby Doo.
Ooh. Man, what's his name?
Shaggy Bombastic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say him. I'm blanking on his name, but
Mr. Bombastic.
no.
Murderer.
Oh God, what's her name?
Here come the high step.
What's his name?
4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't believe I'm blanking on all three of the names that I know. I know who's in it, but I can't say their names.
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Sarah
Freddie
Michelle
Prinze
Gellar, Freddie Prinze
Jr.,
Jr., and
Matt Lillard.
Matt Lillard.
All right, so we get one.
Everybody's
apiece.
got
So
one.
everybody's
This
got
is
one,
the
so this is the
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker. Wow. This is
All right,
the
so
most
I'm
competitive
in it.
movie
So
we've had. In
I
a
start.
long time.
So,
Yeah.
which way are we going this time? We're going.
So you're going this way
go
now.
towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with. Argo.
Alan Arkin.
MASH.
Ooh, okay.
Was he in MASH?
Are you challenging me?
I actually don't think he was.
Why? I'm not talking to you. Y'all was talking to him. Y'all can't gang up on me.
I don't think he was in MASH.
We're challenging?
I'm challenging you.
All right, challenge. I'll look it up. Hold on a second.
I think it was a good idea. That was a good idea.
He guest starred.
You can't do
the
television.
TV show. It's got to be the movie.
Tell me what.
It's
Don't
gotta
tell me
be-
what I'm doing. Here we go.
You should have said Catch 22
Don't tell me what I'm
Should've
supposed
said
to.
so.
Here we go. Here we
If you
It's a
said
go.
Little Miss Sunshine.
if you wanted to go that way.
But
But if you want to
So
go
I
old
married an
school-
axe murderer.
Oh yeah, it was awesome in that one.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't in MASH. But
boom, 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 boom.
sad trombone.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Ted is eliminated.
Damn it.
All right. So
So I start since
Technically, yeah.
technically I eliminated
Yeah, go
him.
ahead.
So how about Superman,
which one?
the original Superman,
Oh.
Superman the movie, I guess is what they called it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
There's somebody more famous in it too, probably.
Gene Hackman.
Okay, Gene Hackman, the Royal Tenenbaums.
Okay. Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, Mystery Man.
William H. Macy.
William H. Macy. Thank You for Smoking.
Aaron. No.
No.
No. I'm gonna go Katie Holmes.
Oh, Katie Holmes. Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
I'm gonna challenge you on teaching.
Oh.
Tingle.
Helen
it's
Mirren.
well, I'm here.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Was
She was Mrs. Tingle.
I don't remember that movie. I remember it being a big buzz movie when it came out. So,
Yes.
1999, Teaching Mrs. Tingle. Who are we looking for?
Helen
Katie
Mirren.
Holmes?
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren is number one. Katie
Martin
Holmes
won.
number two.
It was a tough game though.
It was a
good
tough game. Yes. Very tough game.
All right.
So, I guess that's it for today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thank you for coming out. It was fun having you out there.
So once again, we want to thank Eureka Failure for providing the music. We remind you to come tweet us at CinemATL. Share this podcast with your friends.
Definitely.
Be on the lookout for Ted's podcast coming up soon. And we're running out of time, so we're just going to say goodbye for now. Have a good one. See you next month.
Peace.